I want to understand why you're broadening out in this way.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's exciting to be back. And yes, we've been quite active on the M&A front as we continue to build and broaden our offerings. Many of them are organic, things that we're building internally. And as you can see with the Monolith AI deal, as you can see with the Open Pipe deal, as you can see with the Weights and Biases deal that we did earlier this year, there is a tremendous focus that we have on broadening out how we're going to be able to support our clients from the software side. Obviously, there's also the Core Scientific transaction that is in process. And once again, it is part of our vision of being able to offer a turnkey solution from the bricks all the way up through the infrastructure and through the software to be able to serve our customers in the best way possible.
And is that because also it's more profitable? Michael, we're looking at reports at the moment about Oracle and ultimately how razor thin its profit margins are when you're thinking about renting out compute because of the cost of ultimately the GPUs coming from NVIDIA. How hard is it to make your bread and butter work from a real profit margin perspective?
Yeah, look, you know, the profit margins we're able to garner with the infrastructure that we sell are significant. We're excited about it. We've really been able to drive our business in accordance with our objectives. We're scaling at an incredibly fast pace, and so with that you get short-term distortions. But in terms of the business strategy and execution, couldn't be happier. When you think about where the space is today and where the space is going to be over the next several years, the broadening out of our offering of software solutions really allows for an incredibly effective way of bringing on new clients that are going to pay for not only the infrastructure, but also the services that they get when they need to be able to integrate artificial intelligence into their broader mission. And so we're excited about that. We think it's the right way to go. We've been aggressively pursuing it. We brought on some great teams, and you'll be seeing products coming out of those teams imminently.
Michael, the top story today is Dell roughly doubling its growth projections for both sales and profit through fiscal 2030, largely because of AI server demand. And you are one of the key customers for Dell in that respect. From the customer's perspective, what does that kind of bigger picture forecast from Dell signal to you?
Look, there's a lot of noise in the space again, and this happens periodically. But when you take a step back, you're seeing incredibly strong demand from Dell. You're seeing incredibly strong demand across the hyperscalers as they're able to embed AI into their products. The profits that those are driving are the underpinnings. You were asking about what people look to. That's what they look to, right? Like they look to people that are able to generate revenue from their existing client base using AI. And that is incredibly strong. And we've seen it repeatedly. You're seeing it again with Dell. It's really exciting. And once again, you zoom out just a bit here, and it's really an incredible space going through an incredible transition. That transition is causing a systemic imbalance in the infrastructure side, which is what drove us towards the deal that we are looking at with Core Scientific. Core Scientific is an infrastructure provider for us. They are one of many. Since our last earnings call, we've increased our contracted pipeline of power from 2.2 gigawatts to now up to 2.8 gigawatts, which is a new number that we're putting out there, of which none of that comes from Core Scientific. We have broadened our strategic relationships with other providers of the infrastructure. A great example of that is Galaxy Digital, where we're able to go ahead and get large blocks of contiguous power to continue to buy infrastructure that will be made available to our clients as they continue to build. And ultimately, that brings us back to this particular acquisition that we're looking at. It's an acquisition that we put out there several months ago. Core Scientific provides CoreWeave with over 500 megawatts worth of infrastructure, which we currently have contracted Therefore, we have a great relationship with them. Regardless of the outcome of this acquisition, we will continue to have a great relationship with them as they deliver power to us within our data centers that we share with them. It is a small and shrinking part of our portfolio. And ultimately, that led us to, the position where, really under no circumstances will we readdress the bid that we put out. That's the number. Right. We think it fairly represents the value for them. We think it will be great for the two companies to move forward together. The systemic imbalance within the infrastructure is causing, it really is stressing the supply chains and causing all kinds of delays. Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. We're going to run short of time. And I've got to ask you this. 24 hours ago, we had AMD's CEO, Lisa Su, and OpenAI President Greg Brockman on the program. There are lots of unanswered questions about the 6 gigawatts of capacity they've agreed. Will CoreWeave participate and support in that arrangement? Just very briefly.
Yeah, so we support OpenAI enormously across the space, and we have great relationships with AMD. We use their infrastructure within our portfolio. How they choose to divvy that out, we don't know yet. We're more focused on the the minimum deal that we did 2 weeks ago, which was a minimum of $14.2 billion, which will continue to expand with Meta. That will come online in 2026. We're really excited about that. And, the AMD deal with OpenAI is just another example of the recognition across the space of how much of this infrastructure is required and how much demand all of these providers of artificial intelligence are encountering.